Good evening. How y'all doing, friends and family? I thought I'd put a video out. The last one's been a while. I think I did one on the trail, the hiking trail that I've been taking all the time since I've been out here in Sebring, Florida. And yeah, working hard, and I can feel it's the end of a contract. I'm tired, burnt out, and struggling a little bit, but who wouldn't? It's rough what I'm doing. So, I just this week have really decided to remind myself that I need to daily reach out to my loved ones via the phone and email and text and however I can, being on the road. I think sometimes I get the perspective that I'm the only one that's lonely out there in this world, and because of the lifestyle that I have, I'm single and I'm living on the road, which means I'm not always by people that know me. And but the perspective is really, that's a skewed perspective. That's I think that everyone has to deal with that. Wherever you're at, you can't always make best friends with everyone that you're around. There are people that are users and abusers, and sometimes you put effort into a relationship and it goes nowhere, whatever. Everyone's life is so much different than everyone else's. You might be married, you might be not, but we all struggle with isolation and all of that. And so I really just been combating that with going, well, I just need to reach out more. And it's been so good for my stinking mental health, helping me to, I guess, be more centered in what I'm doing and how I'm thinking, and not to be so introspective. When I'm communicating with a lot of people, I'm thinking about them more than myself, which is a good thing. So I think it's 4 shifts left. Everyone asks me when I walk in the hospital, like, how many more? And they laugh because from day one I start counting down. That's just how I do it. So I have like 4 or 5 more shifts, and then I'll complete this contract. So I'll be spending Thanksgiving either at work or by myself, which is totally okay. I'll get on the phone and say hello to my friends. I might be wrong, but I think for the first time in like 10 years, I'm going to take Christmas off. I'm so excited. As a medical professional, unless you stay somewhere for 5 or 10 years, you're not going to get seniority, and you're not going to get the holidays you want off. And then as a single person, I've had oftentimes they call me and be like, but so-and-so has kids. They need to be home with their family. And I'm like, well, what about me? So I'm just putting myself first this year. I'm like, I'm just not going to sign a contract during that time so I can have the time off with my family. So I'm excited about that. I'm taking 4 weeks off. I'm going to see a bunch of national parks. I'm really excited about that. And yeah, I'm just going to take my time going through the United States, seeing friends and national parks and family, and that's going to be a good thing for me. A nice break away from what it's been like in Florida, which has been pretty isolating. So, yeah, some of the national parks I'm going to go to are Mesa Verde, I think it's Verde, in Colorado. That looks pretty cool. I've never been there. And then I'm going to go to Hot Springs, Arkansas. That's going to be pretty cool. And I'm hoping to see some of Yellowstone again. I saw so very little of it the first time I went, so I'm hoping I get to see part of that again. Big news. Most of you already know, but some of you, my friends that haven't communicated with me, I have finally pulled the trigger. I have put a deposit down on a camper to be made to specs. And I have grappled with this one for 10 years. And, I've had so many people be like, why did you buy that trailer only to get rid of it? And, why don't you get a used camper? There you can get one for $2,000 or $3,000. Do you have to go potty? Guess I have to stop this. And I'm back. Daisy had to go to the bathroom, but anyway, so yeah, I hear of a lot of people's opinions on I should buy a used camper. It's only $10,000, and here, lay down. Take a nap. Come on. And I know the stats on cheap campers and how long they last, and I know a lot of friends and family that have been part-time living in a camper and have gone through 1, 2, 3, and 4 campers in less than a decade. And I know how much they're worth when they're used, and a good lesson came out of all of this, of really just watching videos and talking to people and reading brochures and everything else. And that is, I often get upset when people don't agree with me on my plan of action for my housing, and because they have a different opinion than mine. But the thing is I'm worried about their opinion. And the problem is, a lot of the people that disagree with how I'm working things aren't in a lifestyle that I'm in right now. And I think the perspective is really different on the other side of things. You only know what somebody's going through is when you walk in their shoes a mile, or you've experienced it, or so I think a lot of times I'm hearing a lot of advice on what to do and what not to do. But I finally pulled the trigger because I was like, I have the knowledge base, and I have, through this experience, used and bought and sold and many items that I thought were important, or didn't buy and were important, etc., etc. And some of this stuff, what you live in and what you drive has to, accommodate your life. Just like those organizational shows where you don't just buy 14 Rubbermaids and organize your life with the 14 Rubbermaids. I've tried that. You have to look at the space that you have and make sure it fits in that space. And, if it's easy access for what you need, or, another kind of storage you can put away and forget about it for, a couple months. And I think buying houses and cars are the same way. It has to fit what you're doing. And so anyway, I'm buying an Airstream, and I'm really excited about it. I was really concerned with some issues with repair and cost. And at the end, I just crunched the numbers and realized how much it's going to cost, which is a lot. What I'm using it for, my house. And then how much money I can get out of it whenever I want to sell it, which is a lot, more than any other camper. There was actually a camper that I was looking at. There was a Australian company, and a Black Series. Amazing campers. They're like 10,000 or less, or more, less than an Airstream of the same size and caliber. But they're made for predominantly off-road, which is great, but that's not what I'm doing. And so I decided against it. Number one, I'm not off-roading a whole bunch, and number two, I need retail value. I need it to hold its value so that I can, if I have to, sell it, 10 years down the road and get my money out of it. Airstream is the only one you can do that with. So I finally picked one out, and at first I was going to buy the little 16-foot one that looks like a pill. You're going to take a little capsule. And it's as cute as the button, it's 16 feet. But the thing of it is, I was like, now wait a minute. Do I want a wet bath? Or have to step in wetness every time I go to the toilet, and have to wipe it down every time I take a shower? And there's not a lot of storage room, and the kitchen is so small. It's, you can basically make fried eggs and grilled cheese. And I'm like, well, that's kind of what I'm doing now. So no, that's not what I want. I want an oven. I want a real stove. I want a home. I bought that home in Kansas City, and I didn't have it, but I might be wrong about this, but I didn't have it but 6 months before it sank in the mud, and it became a boat anchor in my life. And it took everything financially to fix it and get rid of it. And so there was a very small window where it actually felt like home because, you know, tragedy happened. And then I've lived in this camper, which is my home, you know, my little homemade camper. And I've lived on the road. And so it's been a long time since I've had a home. So I'm really excited about that. The waiting list is really long. It won't be till like beginning of June before I get it. And I'm getting a few bells and whistles on it because it is my home. So I'm going to get some lithium batteries and solar, and I'm going to have it, you know, surge protector and things of that nature that will protect my investment, basically. And through the whole process of me getting the Airstream and starting that journey to getting one, I just realized how much I hang my hat on what people think and how addicted I am to going, it really affects me when somebody doesn't like what I do or say or critiques, whatever. And then I realized I have that problem at work too, people telling me I'm a liar or telling me I'm a crummy nurse in so many words, which happens. This happens when I know that's not the case. And then I brood over it for a couple of days or weeks and let it affect me. And it's just I really think it's a vice of the enemy to keep me preoccupied and self-introspective and worth nothing to anyone. All I have is negative to say when, I'm craving validation from other people and I didn't get it. And then it just messes with my mood. I get so sad and downtrodden. And I went to church the other day, and the sermon was great, and it was talking about hardship, going through hardship, and how we should behave in that hardship. And then they had an old hymn, and actually it sounded terrible. The hymn was awful, but one of the lines in it was to be steadfast in joy in hardship. And I was like, man, that's it right there. Sometimes you feel this way or that, but to be steadfast in your thought process, in your focus, in your goals, whether in joy or in hardship. And boy, it was just what I needed to hear. So, at first I was a little nervous to tell everybody what I bought, or what I'm about to buy. But, I'm excited. And this trailer is kind of the little trailer that got me to where I wanted to go. It's helped me save some money, even though it took thousands to put it together. It still has helped me save money in this situation, and I'm just so excited about the future. Travel nursing is really hard. No other way to put it, and it just chews you up and spits you out. It really does. But that's why they pay me a lot of money, so I can take time off, clear my head, and start all over again. So right now I am spending 4 days at the Hammock State Park. It's right by my campground that I've been staying at. I rented 4 nights here, and I'm waking up and there's happy campers around me, and they're all happy to be here, and socializing with people, and me riding around on the scooter with Daisy and on my bike with Daisy, and it's just been really, really a nice break. And it's coming to an end that I'm in Florida, and like I said, it's been rough. It's been hard, but I made it. And where do I go next? I don't know. I know where I'm going to go for my vacation and who I'm going to see, and I'm getting ready to make that decision and pull that trigger in a little bit to sign the next contract. But I'm doing good, and I hope everyone else is doing good too. And that's it. That's the message for right now. So I will talk to you all later. Bye.